In today's video I'm going to show you how to replace the intake manifold gasket, since this is the most common point where the air can leak and go inside the engine without being measured. Now, one thing to mention before doing this job, as I showed you in many videos, if you want to detect the air leak, it's a good idea to spray some gasoline around the area where you suspect that there is a leak. In our situation, it's the intake manifold gasket. You can also use a propane torch when you apply the liquid or the gas. Once you see a change here, then you know you found the leak. First, let's remove the air filter housing. You've got one more back here. Release this hose clamp. Release this PCV hose. Take out this little intake hose. Okay, so let's first remove the throttle body from here. To unplug the connector, you can have a look back here. You basically need to lift this flap. So I'm looking like from this side. Okay. And let's remove these coolant hoses. You can expect some coolant to come out. Now let's take care of these little hose clamps and remove the throttle body. You've got 4 screws around. And here it comes. We've got the gasket as well. Let's take out as well the map sensor. Now if you look from this side, you're gonna see that you've got 4 bolts. Alright, so now this metal part assembly, it's disconnected from the intake manifold. So let's start by unplugging everything from here. I'm gonna start with the most difficult one, which is down there. This was the connector on the AC compressor. This wire is actually connected at the bottom. I'm going to try to just place this wiring harness out of the way. Unplug the coolant temperature sensor. Okay, with a 12mm you've got this ground here. The ground is disconnected. Now let's disconnect the 12-volt supply which comes from the alternator. This can be a little bit dangerous. You need to keep it away from any point of the frame of the car. Okay, so I've got this terminal covered, so no more short circuits. I'm going to actually remove the crankshaft position sensor because I cannot take out the connector from here. It's a very strange connector. Right, here it comes. Okay, this hose is out from here, and I've got one more which has a hose clamp. If you wonder, this one with the metal pipe is for the brake booster, and this one comes from the evaporative canister, which is down here. Now let's take out the fuel rail together with the injectors. To do that, you need a 12mm and remove these 2 bolts. You have to pull towards this direction because the injectors are placed like that, not vertically. Okay, if they don't come out easy, lubricate a little bit. Now there are 4 12mm bolts. Let's take them down and the intake manifold should be free. Alright, so let's see. Now before replacing the gasket, let me show you the components you can get access to if you remove the intake manifold. You've got the knock sensor, the crankshaft position sensor, you've got the electric AGR valve. It's basically a part of this metal intake. You can also change a lot easier the thermostat, which is down there. Now you can see on the gasket surface of the intake manifold, we've got a lot of oil, and the oil is also leaking outside. First I thought the oil is coming from the valve cover, but actually it's coming from the interior of the intake manifold, okay? And one more thing we want to see here is if the gasket is sealing anything. It's pretty hard to see on camera, but at some points, for example here, the gasket is actually deeper compared to these two surfaces. Also, this oil can actually damage the rubber. Now, as I said, the oil leak is coming from the interior, from the intake manifold, because you can see here how the oil went inside. Now I'm gonna clean a little bit the surface. Alright, so the surface is clean and ready to get the new gasket on. Here is how it is inside the intake. Alright, now I've got the gaskets on. Don't forget about this one, which sits on this metal part. And let's place the intake manifold. Now let's torque the bolts to 15 foot-pounds. So one injector is stuck in there. I don't want to risk it and force it to take it out. I'm gonna leave it there. These two holes are clean, ready to get the injectors on. From this point, the installation is the reverse process of removal. Seven foot-pounds. Okay guys, job done. Thanks for watching. If you find this video useful, give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and check out the other videos I made about this car. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And until next time, drive safe so I can see you in the next video.